Hey all, this is Madhva Lasya from Channel ML. So today we are going to discuss about like self-defense and also teaching about the good and bad touch for the kids and also for the adults. So I mean I'm not a karate instructor or anything, so I'm not going to teach you anything karate specific defense acts or anything like that. But just a simple acts which we could do it if we end up in a situation like where we have to do a self defense. So first of all, what is a self defense? So self defense is nothing but if we are into a very uncontrollable situations, like such as child trafficking, or our human trafficking, or if we get into all the situations, what act we could do to avoid it. And also teaching the kids about the good and bad touch. This is for all genders, because even boys are also affected by this sexual assaults and everything. So first I'll start with the importance of teaching the good and bad touch and also like self defense for the kids. So one thing I would like to mention is, first of all, teach your kids since the childhood about good touch and bad touch. So that is very very important. So good touch and bad touch are anybody is touching the chest of a person, or between the thighs or the bum, is called like a bad touch. Good touch we all know, right? And also we have to make them understand when is it good touch, when it's a bad touch, right? Whether it's like parents or grandparents or any relatives or outsiders or whatever it is, we are hearing like many stories every day that this child abusing has been growing up. So we have to educate our kids regarding this. I have a 7-year-old boy, and he knows what is good touch and bad touch, and also like I'm teaching him the self defense of how he should behave in certain situations, and keep on teaching them all these things. So good touch is where you don't touch the people, or if it has been touched by the doctors while you in your presence, doctors touch to check their arms, to check their heartbeat and everything. Of course they'll not touch the butt or between the thighs, but if they have any issues in their private parts, then of course they'll check, right? So only in your presence, so that is called good touch. But in the bad touch also, if nobody is in the presence, and if anybody is trying to touch your chest or your between the thighs, private parts, and also your bum, then teach them it's a bad touch. And what kids should do when they had this incident is, first of all, they should start yelling as stop. They should start yelling, screaming stop, because it would help. Many people in the neighbors would hear, and they would say like something is happening wrong. And then they should start running in the opposite direction of the person. If the person is standing in front of you, just run in the opposite direction where the person cannot run. If for example, if I have a person in front of me, I mean, if I start running towards the right, he can run towards the right, because he might be a right hand person. Everybody has a, or in the left side, opposite side, you can easy to run. But if you start running in the opposite side, if I start running to my left side, then for him to understand that, it is not possible, because usually people would expect us to start using our right side to run. But if you use our brain and common sense and you start running to a left side and run, then they cannot realize, because it's just a great shock to the brain to what to react, and it will take some time for them to do it. And also tell them to report it to you or whom they trust, parents, usually mom or dad. Tell them, encourage them to tell you that what happened to them, so that you could take appropriate action. So it could be neighbors also, neighbors, if you see any kids being inappropriately touched by anybody, then please stop them, and then tell this immediately to the kids parents, as well as to the older kids parents, or whoever is adult, whoever is doing it, because we need to stop this all this sexual assault and everything. And even for the ladies as well, the self defense. So sometimes child trafficking, because here every day we are getting child trafficking amber alert, right? So I mean, we cannot avoid child trafficking, but we can use a presence, a common sense to delay it. Like how? Don't send your kids alone outside. Do not even send your kids alone outside. Be with the kids all the time. At the same time, I have seen several Facebook videos where in the presence of the parents itself, it's just a matter of it's just a matter of fraction of a second, they just drag the kids, and the parents struggle to pull them back. Then think about the kids who are just alone in the neighborhoods, trying to play, right? Because one day or the other they would just notice all those things, and they would come in. So like don't let your kids alone, and teach your kids like what they could do. Like they can yell, they can scream, or they can have a pepper powder, they can bite, they can pull that person's hair, because pulling that person's hair will definitely let them know. That biting also will so stop them, and hitting the person hard will not stop them, because the kids are like small when compared to those gigantic traffickers. But they can definitely bite, and they can definitely hit others, and they can definitely like try to shout, and then try to pull the hairs, or try to pull try to hold the neck, because holding neck is very easy, but even depending upon the kids, right? But biting is very very easy, because it would stop them for a few minutes, where they can leave the kid, because if they are biting in their arms, or in the hand, or in the neck, those are all like sensitive areas where they can um, like bite the kids, and they can the kids can bite even for us also. Even we can also bite, we can also use our handbags to put it all over the neck and try to stretch it away. Those things are all like self defense, right? Or they can scream, hey, they're taking me away, and then like try to defend as much as possible, because they would just wait for 30 seconds or 20 seconds to take the kid. But if it's taking more than that, they would leave the kid, and they leave it, because they don't want, they know all the cameras are watching them in the neighborhood or anywhere. So they would not wait until 30 or 1 minute. So if the kids are defending them by hitting, and then by biting and hitting and biting all the time, they will leave the kid, they'll throw the kid, and then they'll leave, and they leave in the car. So because I saw a recent video from one of the CBC channel, where a 16-year-old high schooler was about to get abducted. She actually resisted him for just like 10 seconds, and then he left her immediately, and he went back to the car, because she was just waiting for a school bus alone. And she already knew, I mean, she started running, and then he pulled her via the bag, and then and then she started resisting like this, like, no, I cannot do it, I cannot do it, I cannot do it. And then the kidnapper actually left her, because it was too much time for her to take her to the car to get her abducted. So he left the car immediately. So that got captured in the neighborhood cameras. So install a camera, guys. So these things will really help. I mean, it just costs monthly maybe $4 or $5, but it really helps us a lot. Like, you can do the Smith Thompson is the very cheapest one, everybody could do it. So teach the kids all these uh, um, um, a self-defense mechanism. And even for like women or men, it doesn't matter. If I mean, like, if you're met with an accident, don't get out of the car, please don't get out of the car, immediately call 911. Why I'm saying is, you never know whom I mean, the person whom you dashed your car against, in what mood they are in. Because I literally saw a situation where the other person started hitting the other girl, just because she came out of the car, and they had a physical assault, which is very bad. So we can get into any kind of situation. So when you met with an accident, don't get out of the car. Even with airbags also, call 911, and then ask them to come immediately. They'll come immediately, unless the cops are there arrived. Don't remove from the car, because some people would just show their frustration by just having a physical assault, by getting physical, and then they'll leave the place immediately. Rather, you just stay in the car, and then stay calm, and then call 911. And if they're getting physical at you by punching your windows and everything, just mention it in the 911 call itself, so that they will send the cops immediately, right? And another thing, please carry a small pepper bottle in your hand, so that if anybody is trying to do this, you can just take it, and you can just throw it on their eyes. You can teach it to the kids also, but for kids it's really difficult, because they'll be so involved in playing and everything. And if you are in the parking lot, and if you see an object in front of you, in front of a car, don't touch it or anything. Just get inside your car, and then move the car ahead, because those objects are kept to distract you, and the kidnappers are ready to kidnap or traffic even the humans, adults as well. So these things are happening, these are real. I have seen it multiple times. So I've heard also in multiple times. I've seen these things happening to me as well. I have seen a water bottle standing in front of the trunk, or in the back of the trunk. I would not give an importance to it. I just get inside the car, lock the car immediately. When you're getting inside the car, lock the car, start the car, and then I'll just move the bottle will get out of it, right? So always watch out for anybody who's following you or anything. And always have if you're carrying a handbag, if somebody is trying to pull you, put the handbag on their neck, and then try to stretch them and choke them, because those are all self-defense. And then use a black pepper, and then throw it on them. That would give them a irritating feeling, and they'll leave you. And even when you're driving, and if you're when you're driving in a lonely road, and if you're seeing only a bottle, or somebody block the road, don't get out of the car. Rather, reverse it, or go ahead of it, or call someone, call the cops immediately, because those things are traps created by the human traffickers. It might sound like some um, construction work was happening, but it is not, because if you have a construction work, you would have the tapes being set up and everything. But when you are stuck in a lonely road, please do not get out of the car, no matter what. Like, lock the car and don't get out, and immediately call 911. If you are able to take the reverse wing, that's fine, and if you're not able to take reverse, then call 911. When they see you having on a phone call, then they would definitely leave the place immediately. So or call your, I would say, call 911 and tell them, you're got stuck in a lonely road, and I don't know how to do it, because until the cops come, I don't want to get out of the car. So I'm just sharing some of the because these things are real, because prevention is better than cure, and defense is better than cure, right? I mean, so these are the self defense techniques which I would follow, and that's what I'm sharing. Of course, learning karate would definitely helps, but presence of mind makes sense. Even if you learn karate, presence of mind makes sense, right? So at that point of time, we need to understand. For that, we have to prepare ourselves for all these kind of situations, rather than whining later after being abducted, or after seeing the amber alerts and all those things. So that's all, guys, I have for today. Thank you so much. Please take care of yourself, wear mask when you go out. Goda Govinda, stay blessed. Thank you.